Good morning, family. It is your girl, Jay Searcy, owner of Clear to Close Capital and founder. Welcome to our channel and our YouTube page. Introducing my lovely counterpart,
Adrian Atkins. I am a hard money broker, and I'm excited to be talking to you
Yes.
today.
Listen, we finally have made it. We've been talking about doing this podcast forever, and I'm very excited. Thank you for flying in from Indiana, leaving behind your 5 kids, your husband, your whole life. So thank you very much for coming today. You know, I can't do this without you.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. All right, so let's get into it. Tell us, Adrian, what do we do? How do we do it? And let's start there.
So we are Clear to Close Capital, and we focus on helping investors get funding for their investment properties. So we do things like fix and flip loans. We do DSCR loans, which are buy and hold loans. We do loans for everything.
Anything investment property related, we do.
Correct. And we do it fast. What investors need is fast funding. And so we specialize in the investor that needs to close quickly and more efficiently, no documents, things like that.
Yeah. I think one of the sexiest things that we also offer is the fact that you don't need W-2s, you don't need tax returns. We don't care where you are sourcing your funds from. So not only can we close really quickly and efficiently, typically in 7 to 14 days, it's an easier process because we don't have to go through all the verification like a traditional bank.
I was just about to say that. Traditional banks will go through your whole history. They want to know your mama, your daddy, everybody involved. But with hard money lending, we don't need any of that information. All we need is a business and some money.
The first question I feel like we're always asked is like, oh, do you care about my credit utilization? What about my DTI? And we're like, no, we don't even look at that. It's really 3 key factors that we're looking at. We're looking at the asset, so the actual value of the property. We're looking at your credit. And in some cases, we actually have some credit products or some loan products, I should say, that do not require a credit score. And they also don't require appraisal. But that's only in our 5 states. Ask us more about that package later.
Exactly.
And the other thing that they're really considering too is your experience. You know, have you flipped? Have you built before? Do you own commercial property? You know, like what have you done in the industry? So those factors, I feel like, make it a lot easier for people to be able to qualify for funding than if they were trying to go through a traditional bank.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you get a lot of investors that come and say, hey, Adrian, I have a loan. I need to close in 3 days. You cannot go to any traditional bank, traditional lender, and get that to happen. But you can come to us and get that loan closed quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just got a call this morning. I need to close next Friday. Send me the deal.
Listen, and I'll say one thing we're going to do. We have a motto, no deal left behind. So if you send a deal our way, we are going to do everything in our power to close it. And one thing I love about us, too, is that we're transparent. So if we can't do it, we're not going to drag you through a process or, you know, make it seem like we can do something that we can't. If we can't, we'll let you know so that, you know, if you have to go somewhere else or try to figure it out, you have time to do so.
Exactly. We're a one-stop shop. We literally can do the credit. We can do the funding. We can find the home.
We can find the loans.
It's nothing we can.
Absolutely. And the nice thing, too, is that we do direct funding, right? So some of the loans come through us table, and then we also broker. So if there's something that in-house we don't have the ability to fund, we can broker out the business and we can find a lender that will help you to be able to close on a loan. So we have many different options. So really, like you said, Adrian, we're a one-stop shop for investors. If you don't have enough down payment, we can help you to secure, you know, the financing that you need for down payment. If you need help with credit, if there's issues on the credit side, we have a credit specialist, Monique Reed, who works with us. She's phenomenal. She can assist you with that as well. So, you know, there's really nothing that we can't help, you know, beginners, intermediate, and also our experienced investors.
Yeah. A lot of people think that hard money loans are for people that have bad credit, but it's really not. It's for people that want to close deals fast. It's for people that have entities and they want to put their properties in their entities. A lot of people don't want to purchase in their personal name. It's a lot of benefits to purchasing in your business. And so I
It's a
just
lot
want
of
to
legal protection.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't want people to think, oh, I have bad credit, so let me get a hard money loan. No. And it's not even, it shouldn't be called hard money because it's so easy to get
I
them.
just said that the other day. I was like, I feel like this should be called easy money. I feel like hard money has given it like a tainted name because it's really not hard to get. It's
No.
based off of the qualifications. You either have it or you don't. And there are many workarounds. So I
Yeah.
love that about our industry too.
Yeah. And I love working with investors. It's never a time where an investor comes and it's just one deal. They're going to consistently invest. And what I like about hard money is you can close multiple deals at the same time. You can come back the next month and get another deal. And it's not like traditional, oh, I see another property on your credit.
Correct.
It's not even reporting to your personal credit.
Correct. They don't even see it.
So you can keep going and going and going. I literally have 2 clients right now that have 3 properties apiece. And even one with 7 properties.
Oh, yeah. We've had, you just closed a 21 package deal.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I had to say, I was impressed.
It was not easy, but we got it done. But I made it work. We couldn't do all 7 together, all 21 together. We had to couple them by 7, but we got it done. Mm-hmm. And she's happy. The investor is happy, and everything is going smoothly. And that's what I like. I like to do that. We like to do that.
I was about to say, we like to do it. It's fun. And I also love the fact, too, that this is easy for people that have never done it before, right? We were talking in class the other night, and one of our brokers had, gotten on, and she was like, I'm in a tough position. She's like, me and my sister, we self-funded some real estate deals. And she's like, we're stuck in the middle. We've run out of money. We don't have option. I was like, we can help you, but honestly, you should have done a fix and flip loan, because inside of a fix and flip loan, 100% of your renovation budget is actually included. So instead of running out of your funds, you have everything you need for your labor, your materials, your general contractor. You're able to purchase the house. You're just focusing on getting through the deal. That's it. And I also was telling her too, I said, we also have a product that allows for you to put the monthly interest payment on the back side of the loan. So you can get into the deal and strictly just focus on flipping the property, getting in and out of it, recouping your funds, paying the lender back, and then you get to move on to your next deal. And she was like, yeah, you're right. Can I call you after class?
You need strategy. The wealthiest people use other people's money.
True.
Why? I meet so many people that, I did that deal myself with my own money. Why?
Yeah. And you tied all your funds up and you took a ginormous risk.
Exactly.
Calculated risk is something that I would be way more comfortable with and have been. I build, I flip, I do all those things as well. And every single deal I've ever done, I've always used hard money. There's a hard money component to the capital stack. So it's just, to me, it kind of takes the shoulder off of trying to muscle through a project on limited funds, limited resources. Oftentimes, brand new investors, they don't have great teams because they're just starting off. And it just puts you at more of a risk, right? You need to have the right team. You need to have the right capital funding, and you need to be able to get in and out of these deals. It's important.
You need a plan.
Yeah, strategy.
You should never do anything without a strategy and without a plan. Now, sometimes things can vary and things can change. You can get into a fix and flip property, open up a wall, and see that it's something bigger than what you thought.
Carpenter ants. Seen that too.
See, you see what I'm saying? But you have to be prepared for those things. That's why I say, when people, do I need so much money? You need some money. Yeah, you need money to put down on the property, but you also need a nest egg. So if something does happen, okay, I have a little cushion. I can work with that and I can keep moving my project.
I love what you just said. Major key fact as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the renovation budget that is inside of the loan, they do not give you your full budget up front when you close. So just understand, your renovation budget, the rehab budget, is held in what we call escrow. So the lender holds on to that money and you work through the process in a draw form. So you have to have some money to unlock it. You get reimbursed on the backside, and then that money comes to you within about 48 hours. So I thought I should say that. So if you have a $200,000 renovation budget, you close on the deal, you're like, where's the 200K? It's like, that's not how that works, right? So.
And you have to make sure you do the work. The inspectors are going to come out and they're going to take pictures. They're going to look and see that the work was done because you're asking for the money.
Correct.
If you don't do the work, you will not get the money.
Amen. I've seen people get zero.
Yes.
Like they bought the materials and said, okay, well, I bought the materials. It's in the house, but it's not installed. It has to be fully installed. I've seen a few lenders, I don't know, take pity and they'll give them like 25% of the materials that they actually purchase. But the rest of the money, the other 75% of that draw is being held because you didn't have anyone finish the work. So again, money, process, team. It all keeps tying back together. That's real estate.
And then I get a call. Adrian, I only got $1,000 and I had a budget for $8,000. Well, did you do the work? If you didn't do the work, you need to go back, finish it, and then request the money again.
Correct.
And there will be a draw fee. You cannot get past draw fees on these loans. Everybody is in it to make money. The lender and the broker, everybody wants to make some money. So you just need to be prepared and have the capital to be successful in investing.
I agree. I think that a lot of people get the wrong idea because so many people in real estate are saying, oh, you can get started with no money. It's a lie.
No.
I don't know other than, hey, if I decide to do a OPM deal, which is basically other people's money where you're, syndicating, bringing people together and you yourself are not coming out of pocket. But even at that point, somebody's coming out of pocket. So there's always a need for money in this industry. And you want to be in the best position when going into a deal. You don't want to try to go into a deal and basically scrape along the project, penny pinching here, trying to pay a little bit here. You want to be in the best position to have, a flush project. You can move through all the phases of your project without struggling. It's the money piece of it.
Yeah. And I like to position myself as a strategic partner to my investors, right?
Because you are.
Because I really want you to be successful. So if you come to me and you don't have any mentorship, any knowledge, I send them directly to Janine because she has a mentorship program that's amazing. And I'm like, get the mentorship. The mentors have mentors. Everybody is always gaining information and education. The moment you stop learning, you stop earning.
That's true.
You have to continue to learn and grow. And if you really want to be a successful investor, you need to study it all the time.
I agree. You know what else mentors have?
What?
Experience. They've already done all of the dummy moves. They've already tried it, done it, failed, it didn't work out. You take your lickings, right? And then you go back out and you do it again. But it's a lot of strategy. It's a lot of time in the market. It's a lot of, riding through. I've been in this industry now 8 years. I remember when we first started, the market was insane. Like when we would go out to properties, there were lines. Like if you showed up and you didn't have your team, you didn't have your inspector, you didn't have the GC with you, you looked like a rookie because everybody else did, right? And I just remember that. I remember the COVID, which COVID was insane.
Yeah.
Waiting to be, deemed essential so that we can go back to building. I remember people catching COVID on site, teams scared to work in the houses together. That was just an absolutely insane time. We come up off of COVID, we jump right into these, difficult interest rates. So it has been a wave. Like we've seen so many different things and it hasn't even been a decade all the way yet, right? So you just need to be able to partner and work with people that have multiple exit strategies and knowledge on how to be successful in any type of market, whether it's a fantastic market or it's a little bit cold. So I agree with you, mentorship, my students that I've been working with, especially between, Atlanta, here in Georgia, and Chicago, these are two completely different markets, but each one of them, they're having their own level of success in each because we have experience in each of it.
Yeah, and you have to know your market and you have to know when the seasons change, right?
Correct.
There is a slow season. In the winter season, everything kind of dies down. Then as we're ending winter and going into spring, then you have a lot of people doing cash out refis because they have
Yes.
equity in their properties. And so now they're gearing up for the summer, which is you want to buy, and work and get those projects completed then. So now you can sell them right before winter and everybody want to get into their new house.
I agree.
And bring their family in for the holidays. Now they're prepared, even like not bring their families in because it's not a personal property, but maybe you're Airbnb and you have people that's going to be traveling. Now you're strategic thinking.
Absolutely.
You're thinking about, okay, somebody's going to rent my property for the Christmas season and things like that, right? So now you're able to now make money from that investment property.
Correct.
And then you go through the season because in the wintertime, it slows down.
It's painfully slow in real estate in the wintertime.
Yes. Yes.
I feel that might be market driven. If it's nice and sunny all the time, probably Florida, California, they may not feel it the way that we do. But here in Georgia, I feel like Georgia shuts down basically from November to December anyway. So the whole state just seems to just break. So I always feel like, just like you were saying, coming up like into the winter, that's a great time to buy and renovate and rehab during the winter season because it gives you the opportunity to pop out with a beautiful, product right at the spring and summer market.
Yeah.
So there, again, strategy. That's what we're talking about.
I'm the strategy queen, okay? We need a plan. I do not work in chaos and confusion. You need a plan. To be successful. I don't know about you. I want to be successful.
I do too. So, I am successful.
Exactly.
And so are you.
Yeah. But I want to keep it that way.
Correct.
And keep growing, right? And going to the next level. And if you can only do that when you have a plan.
What is one of your worst hard money stories that you have?
Worst?
The worst. Like it was a messed up deal. Somebody came. Like, what's the worst one you think you've ever seen? I have one.
I think for me, worse in funding, right? When you're gearing up to go to closing, right? And you're all excited about, okay, you're excited for your client. They're about to close. You're going to get paid. They're going to get paid. Everything is just going to be perfect, right?
Right.
And then you get to the closing. They're signing their documents. You're like, yay.
You closed.
Yeah. But then it's time to wire the funds and there's no funds there.
Oh, my God.
That is the worst. I'm like, wait. I thought it was payday. Where is the money? And it wasn't there. And then you had to wait weeks and weeks before. Yeah. I believe that was kind of my worst experience. Because, you women, you already spent that money before.
I know, but you
got it.
cannot, when you live, like, when you work on commission, you cannot spend that money before it's, in hand, in the bank, and cleared.
But I got like 100 kids. And they all have activities.
Sports,
everything.
Travel. You travel a lot for your kids' sports.
You got AAU basketball, cheer, track, softball, baseball.
The expenses of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to pay off when you get a kid in the NBA. Like, Evan could go to the NBA.
Yeah.
We're going to keep our fingers crossed for him and prayers up.
Evan, go to the NBA.
Come on, Evan, let's do it. NBA.
But yeah, you want your deals to close and fund on the same day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know it any other way. So that's a crazy story.
Yeah. That's probably my
My
worst one.
craziest was I had a client who was attempting to, build rapport, build relationship. And she's talking to me and she's like, yeah, me and my husband, we're in the church. We've been together for such a long time. And these are all this relationship advice. Okay. Well, we had to do a background check. And when we pulled the background, they had domestic violence and it was insane. I was like, lady, did you just? So it was so uncomfortable because I needed a statement. So I had to go to her and I was like, so the lender, we found XYZ on the background. And so she was like, oh, we just had, a small argument. And I was like, well, it says here, like, the police were called. So she's like, yeah, I'll talk to him. I'll write a statement. So no problem. They write a statement, get it cleared off. I was like, oh my gosh, like I was so uncomfortable. And also, that was one of the first deals that I funded where I was literally telling the borrower, I was like, this project is too big for a first-time investor. It was a very expensive project. And when I was looking at it compared to the work, because, we see the pictures, we see,
Yeah.
the budgets, we see the appraisals. And I'm like, this loan, you're probably about $200,000 shy on the budget. But as we both know, if you're a brand new investor, it can be difficult getting over that $250K that you're going to need on these
Yeah.
bigger projects. It's actually a better idea to start off with a smaller, more affordable project. You build up your experience and then it's easier to qualify. Typically, after your fourth renovation, they'll start lending to you for what we call in the industry as a heavy rehab.
Yeah.
And this client, she just insisted. She's like, no, this is what the budget is. It took her 3 years to get through that project. And it sold under value for what she was expecting, almost 100,000 under, because the market had completely
Yeah.
changed. And I just remember I was like, I don't ever want to be in a position again where someone tries to convince me that this is a good situation or a good deal if it's not. And that was 8 years ago. It's when I first started. And I just never funded like that again. I was like, if I know that these numbers don't work, I'm going to show you. Let's look at the pro forma. Let's look
Yeah.
at what this actually looks like. And it protects not only your client, but also protects your reputation as a lender and as a broker. And that was one of the moments that really changed everything for me. And made me really start focusing on being customer service driven, but also focusing on making sure that, the loans that people are getting into are the best for them in that situation, regardless of what they think or want.
Oh yeah. We don't put people in loans that don't work.
You just can't.
If it doesn't work, we're not going to fund it, because at the end of the day, I don't want you coming back to me knocking at my door.
Absolutely.
You're in the hole because of a deal that you thought was just so perfect. We even advise people, if it's a big project and we know it's a good project, but they don't have any experience, partner.
And you could partner with your general contractor too.
Yeah.
A lot of these lenders, they'll accept, GC experience to help you. And you just have to be able to prove that the general contractor has done a project at that level, and we can use and leverage general contractor experience for, clients. So I agree. I remember that. And literally she came up to me afterwards. This was years later. I ran into her at an event and she was just like, she's like, man, you were right. She's like, I wish I had listened to you. And again, that was when I had just started. And I knew, though, I was looking at that project. I was like, oh, girl, I don't think you should take this one on. But she did it. And to be honest with you, her final product was absolutely stunning after she finished it. But 3 years later, there's no value. There's no money in the project. So,
But with being in this industry for so long, what do you feel like people take your advice and listen?
yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, they absolutely do. I feel like, I get tons of inboxes. I do all my coaching classes, the mentorship coaching. And I feel like women really lock in. They really listen. And now husbands are coming into class and mentorship and boyfriends. And, I love it. It's like watching your baby grow, but also being able to share all of your industry experience and your knowledge and helping people to make more strategic decisions, I would say, in regards to where they're planting their money and how they're intending to make their wealth grow.
I love it. I love hard money lending. I love what I do. I'm excited. I love working with people. I love helping people achieve their goals and dreams through home ownership and owning investment properties. So I'm ready to work.
I know, me too. Well, listen, this is episode 1. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys are interested in working with us as a brand new client, please make sure that you go to cleartoclosecapital.com or Clear to Close on any of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We are excited to work with you, and we are here to fund. And remember, no deal will ever be left behind.